Good, happy Friday evening, January 8th, 2021. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Friday evening edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Friday evening, so let's begin. First up, we begin with your COVID-19 dashboard from Johns Hopkins University in Medicine. Let's take a look at that right now. And here is a look at that information for all of you right now. Your global cases are 88,687,883. U.S. cases are 21,808,008. U.S. global deaths are 1,909,376. U.S. deaths are 368,013. That is a look at your Johns Hopkins University COVID-19 dashboard for all of you this evening. And now let's get to your other news. We are following breaking news. Just before we came on air, this breaking news came into our newsroom. Take a look. Twitter account permanently suspended. Donald Trump's Twitter account is permanently suspended. Twitter permanently suspends President Donald Trump's real Donald Trump account due to the risk of further incitement of violence, the company says. And we will be sure to keep you updated on this breaking news story that is just coming into our newsroom. Federal murder probe opened for Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick, who died following riots. Officer Brian Sicknick was the fifth person to die as a result of the siege. The U.S. Attorney's Office in Washington has opened a federal murder investigation into the death of Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick, who died Thursday night after suffering injuries in the violent siege on Capitol Hill. 3 law enforcement sources confirmed to ABC News. The investigation is being conducted jointly between the FBI and the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department, with cooperation from U.S. Capitol Police. Man who allegedly broke into Pelosi's office charged with 3 federal counts. He was arrested Friday morning in Little Rock, Arkansas. Richard Burnett, a man who allegedly broke into House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's office, posed for pictures, and stole mail from her desk, was arrested Friday morning in Little Rock, Arkansas, and has been charged with 3 federal counts. He was charged with entering restricted building, violent entry, and disorderly conduct on Capitol guards, and stealing public property. Draft article of impeachment charges Trump with incitement of insurrection in Capitol mob attack. House Democrats could introduce an impeachment resolution as early as Monday. House Democrats on Friday discussed moving forward with efforts to impeach President Donald Trump a second time, circulating the draft of a single article citing sentiment of encouragement that they could introduce as early as Monday and hold a full House vote on as early as the middle of next week. The article charges Trump with willfully inciting violence against the government of the United States with his comments at the rally outside the White House that it says encouraged and foreseeably resulted in intimate, lawless actions at the Capitol. Pelosi, calling Trump an unstable president, seeks to prevent his access to nuclear launch codes. She said she had spoken with Joint Chief Chairman Mark Milley Friday morning. In an extraordinary move, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said Friday she had reached out to the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mark Milley, in discuss available precautions for preventing what she called an unstable president from accessing the nuclear launch codes or initiating military hostiles before he is out of office in 12 days. Capitol siege raises security worries for Biden inauguration. President-elect Joe Biden's inauguration on January 20th was already going to be scaled back because of the coronavirus pandemic. The violent insurrection at the U.S. Capitol is intensifying security at the upcoming inauguration ceremony for President-elect Joe Biden, which already has been reshaped by the coronavirus pandemic and President Donald Trump's decision not to attend the event. Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris will take the oath of office from the Capitol's West Fort, one of the locations where a mob overpowered police and stormed the building on Wednesday. They also scaled and occupied the scaffolding and bleachers in place for the ceremony. Plans for the January 20th inauguration were already scaled back because of coronavirus, but the bizarre attacks raise new questions about preparedness for the event that will welcome a new administration after a bitter election. The congressional leaders responsible for coordinating the inauguration has insisted that the event will move forward. Security forces have already begun taking extra precautions in wake of Wednesday's mayhem. 5 people died, including a Capitol Police officer. Roughly 6,200 members of the National Guard from 6 states, Virginia, Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, Delaware, and Maryland, will help support the Capitol Police and other law enforcement in Washington for the next 30 days. Crews intact tall black metal fences on the Capitol grounds that are designed to be impossible to climb. Similar structures have previously been used around the White House and in other cities that fenced prong demonstrations. And now let's take a look at your U.S. stock market and see how your U.S. stock market closed for this Friday evening. And here's a check of that U.S. stock market for all of you for this Friday evening. Your Dow Jones Industrial Average closed in the green and went up. Your Nasdaq closed in the green and went up. S&P 500 closed in the green and went up. Gold closed in the red and went down. Oil closed in the green and went up. U.S. 10-year closed flat. Euro/USD closed in the red and went down. And VX closed in the red and went down. And that is a look at your U.S. stock market. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's take a look at your weather. Let's take a look at the weather across the United States for this Friday evening. And here's a look at the weather across the United States for this Friday evening. In Boston, it'll be 24 degrees. New York City, 29 degrees. In Washington, 27 degrees. Atlanta, 31 degrees. Jacksonville, Florida, 41 degrees. Tampa Bay, Florida, 48 degrees. Miami, Florida, 53 degrees. Dallas, Texas, 31 degrees. Phoenix, 41 degrees. Las Vegas, 37 degrees. Los Angeles, 45 degrees. And San Francisco, 44 degrees. That is a look at your weather across the United States for this Friday evening. And tonight, very soon, the final episode of Alex Trebek's last day on Jeopardy will air this evening. Let's take a look and learn more about what to expect from Good Morning America. Let's take a look at that video right now.
Fans are getting ready for an emotional Final Jeopardy tonight. The show's last episode with the iconic Alex Trebek at the helm after a valiant fight with pancreatic cancer. The host passing away shortly after the taping, and TJ Holmes is here with more. Good morning to you, TJ, and I know you had a chance to spend a lot of time with Mr. Trebek.
I value the time I got to spend with him, but think back, man. I don't know if you can think back, but the first ever Jeopardy episode that was hosted by Alex Trebek aired September 10th, 1984. Wow. Fast forward 36 years, 8,200 episodes. The last episode hosted by this man is going to air tonight. But you're not going to see any farewell speeches because nobody, even Trebek, thought this was going to be his last.
Here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek.
Admired by generations of fans.
What it is, we love you, Alex. That's very kind. Thank you.
An unmistakable charm.
Bright and successful. Those three words definitely apply to our champion, Lisa.
An undeniable legacy. Tonight, Alex Trebek, the beloved host of Jeopardy, is uniting us in our homes one last time in what will be his final episode. But the host of more than 36 years and 8,200 episodes,
welcome to America's favorite answering question game, Jeopardy!
Had no intentions of it being his last.
Now, normally, the prognosis for this is not very encouraging, but I'm going to fight this.
Trebek's final episode was taped just 10 days before his passing on November 8th after an 18-month battle with stage 4 pancreatic cancer.
He loved this show and everything it stood for.
The show's executive producer, Mike Richards, tells GMA Overnight about those final days on set.
I didn't know how much pain he was in, but obviously he was battling. And so for me, it was just emotional that he was there back at his lectern doing what he loved to do. And that's what was so special about it.
But tonight's final Trebek episode won't feature a farewell from the host.
He didn't know it was going to be his last show. The contestants didn't know. We didn't know. He signs off and says, we'll see you next time. So you'll see a man at the peak of his powers.
Trebek's final episodes have been airing all week. On Monday nights, this candid moment, Trebek addressing viewers directly in this opening message urging compassion during the global pandemic.
Open up your hands and open up your heart to those who are still suffering because of COVID-19. People who are suffering through no fault of their own. We're trying to build a gentler, kinder society. And if we all pitch in just a little bit, we're going to get there.
Even the crew didn't know it was coming.
And I think he was trying to lift us up as bad as he felt. He was there with that speech trying to lift us up.
So no goodbye speeches or sign-offs tonight, but still perhaps a fitting farewell. One last time for fans to see Trebek work. Fans that Trebek says meant so much to him. Put into terms what these fans mean to you, fans of the show.
They are the most important elements in my life outside of my family and friends. They have expressed their feelings about me in so many positive ways that I can't help but be touched by what they have to say.
And as you mentioned, Stray, the time I got to spend with him, I always tried to pin him down. What would it take for you to retire? When are you ever going to give up this show? He said, only if my skills diminish to a point that I don't think I can do the job. If you've been watching this week, and you're going to see tonight that almost literally right up until his last day, he still had it. So there's something fitting about it.
And I had a chance to go out and I talked to Alex and his wife, Jean, and this is what he said. He said, stop worrying about the future. Just treat every day as a blessing and enjoy it to the fullest. And try to be aware of when you leave this earth that you've made a difference in the lives of other people, a positive difference. And he definitely did that.
That was him, folks. Write it down. Take that with you for the weekend. All right?
No doubt. All right. Thank you so much, TJ.
Well, hey there, GMA fans.
Okay, and there you go. His final episode is going to be on tonight. Thank you for joining us for this Friday evening edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. Have a great rest of your Friday evening. I'll see you back here tomorrow for another broadcast. Good night and goodbye, everyone.